I was looking through some videos, just seeing if I had spoken about this, and I realized I didn't, and that's probably a good thing because another situation pertaining to this topic arose tonight. So it's Sunday, May 24th, when I'm recording this. It's going to be released on Monday. Uh, but yeah, another situation arose tonight which pertains to this topic. So I just wanted to share about this and just talk about catastrophizing small situations into much larger things than they should have been. If you're anything like me, you could relate to that because I am a master at taking something so small and making it into a massive issue and making it into like just this huge thing that it never was in the first place. Like, I'll give you a few stories. Like, my car didn't start on Friday. So I got to work. I just had to get to work another way. My and When I got to work, I turned on the pump for the sprinkler system, and the water pressure was kind of low. And my boss got there a little bit early, so he checked it out, and it turned out that a coupler, a water access point, is what I'll call it. Because I was telling the story, and someone else was like, "What's a coupler?" So I'll just say a water access point. It's like connected to the water line, goes to certain points in a field or any space really, and you could connect a hose to it to get water. Water access point. A water access point had broken on the golf course, and it was one that I had been using the day before. So my boss goes to me, he goes, you know, when you used this yesterday, did you notice anything weird? And I'm like, no. Did it twist? No. Did it pull? No. Did I have to use excessive force or was it too tight? No, it wasn't. Like, it wasn't. And so he's like, we'll find out what happened. And he goes and checks it out. And it was nothing that I had done. Whoever had assembled the piping leading up to that point where you connect the hose, they hadn't sealed the PVC connectors. So they were just like PVC connectors that were just like set in there but not sealed or like properly fixed to one another. So they had just gotten loose and then just water spewed out everywhere. So it was nothing that I could have done. It was nothing that I did. Like, I didn't assemble that access point. I wasn't in charge of that. So, that situation resolved itself. It was a pretty big situation and I was pretty nervous about it. I'm not going to front. Like, that's a big deal. It's a lot of water. It's a lot of damage to the course. But, it was nothing that I could have done. And even in that moment, I remember just being like, we'll figure out what happened. Whatever happened, like, we'll figure it out. The car situation totally resolved itself. Like, I got home and I tried to jump the car. And before I did that, I was just checking the access points, like the connection points on different things in the engine bay, the battery, mainly the battery. And then I was like, let me just try to restart this car again. Let's see if it works. And the engine turned. I was like, sweet, it works. That situation resolved itself. Like, so my birthday is coming up on Tuesday, right? And my parents wanted to do something special tonight. My mom had been talking to me like the whole week, like, we got to do something, we got to do something. And I was just kind of like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, she's home from the hospital. Like, she's healthy, alive, and we're able to have conversations and improving. Like, genuinely, that's all I wanted. Like, I did not want to do anything too big. And my dad arranged like for takeout from this one restaurant that we go to. We've actually been there many times for my birthday, my brother's birthday, my dad's birthday a few times. We weren't going to go there in person and eat out, but we got takeout and had it at home, right? My dad leaves to go pick it up and he comes home and we're missing an order. Like, one of the orders is missing. And, I'm already a little bit hungry. I'm like looking forward to this meal. Yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to the meal. I'm like, this is going to be nice. And it turns out it was my food that was missing, you know. And I was just like, well, what could we do? So we called the restaurant, explained the situation, and it was just a mistake. It was just that, it wasn't like any situation other than just like someone had forgotten the food. That's all it is. My dad's stressing, we can't forget the birthday food, da 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 da. I was like, dude, let's just go back, get the food and come back, and just grub. And so I went with my dad to go pick it up, and it was maybe 20 or 30 minutes away from our house. Like, for Los Angeles, that's a ways. Like, I don't know where y'all are watching this from. 20 or 30-minute drive may not be too far for you, but in Los Angeles, that's a far drive, dude. That is a far drive. So yeah, it was a few cities over. So we went, and I had a great time with my dad in the car. Great conversation, great talk to and from the restaurant, and then had a great meal with my family. An amazing meal, man. Great time, great fellowship, great, great food. Just a really good time, right? In my drinking, like all these small things that resolve themselves, I would always hold on to so tight. Like the initial emotions that I felt, the initial like confusion and frustration I felt when my car didn't start, the initial like questioning, uncertainty, and anger at my boss for like asking me questions. That's all he was doing. But like I would have taken it. I it was I had to like stop for a second and be like, he's not accusing you of anything. He's just asking questions, right? But in my drinking, I would have taken that as accusation. You're asking me too many questions about this. I didn't do anything. I would have held on to that feeling. The frustration with this dinner situation, I would have held on to and just totally not let go until I felt it right to let go. And that I was gonna say like I wouldn't let go until after the first drink or after the third drink or after the fifth drink, but no, like sometimes I would hold on to things for days, maybe a week if I had to. If it justified my drinking, I would hold on to the smallest things from the most minor inconveniences that, had I not been drinking, would have sorted themselves out. Just like all these three stories that I shared with you. The car situation sorted itself out. The water access point at my work sorted itself out. This dinner situation sorted itself out. My car works great. I was able to get where I needed to that day, this weekend. I do need to get it into a shop, but that's another issue. The car gets me around. It works. It's fine. At work, that water access point situation was nothing of my doing. It had been there for a while. If anything, my boss was glad that he had noticed it now, and it had only been going on for maybe 30 minutes instead of 5, 6, 7 hours. Imagine if that had gone off overnight. We've had situations where water has been leaking overnight, and it is not pretty. Like, it is not pretty at all. So thankful that didn't happen, right? Thankful that it was an easy fix. So the car situation sorted itself. The work situation sorted itself. This dinner situation, had a great time with my family. Had great food nonetheless. It was a great time with great memories that I was able to spend with the people that I love. And each of these three things like work themselves out. And I look at these situations, right? 2 of them were 3 days ago, and 1 of them was maybe 3 hours ago, right? And in the middle of each of these situations, like whenever I go through things like this, because these are not the only 3 things that have happened to me, in my time sober. I've had way more experiences just like this, right? But whenever I go through something like this, I try to like really sit down like in the present moment when I'm going through it and just be like, okay, like what are the facts? What's the situation going on? My interactions with other people, like what are they saying? What is their intention behind it? And then like how is this going to affect me in 3 hours, in 3 days, in 3 weeks? In 3 weeks, I'm probably going to forget about my car not even starting. You know, I'll probably remember that it didn't start and had some issues, but that issue would have either been resolved by me taking it to a shop or me like doing some research online and fixing the issue myself. In 3 weeks, I'll certainly forget about the cupware incident. That's going to be long history, you know. 3 weeks, I'm certainly gonna forget that like they forgot our dinner, and I'm just gonna be remembering the great memories that I had at this dinner. You know, I'm already thinking about that 3 hours from this one incident. Like, mainly I remember it by the conversation I had with my dad to and from the restaurant, conversations I had with my family around the dinner table, like just the warm feelings I have, right? And these are things I was never able to do in my drinking, right? 3 days from now, I still would have been tripping out over this dinner. Still would have been tripping out, oh, dude, like this restaurant, like, and it was the birthday meal they forgot. Like, it was my meal they forgot. It was supposed to be my day. Me. Let me drink about it rather than think about it, you know? Like, and it just stems from the self-centeredness, I feel. Stems from the self-centeredness that my alcoholism fueled. Just the rampant sense of self, right? The rampant only thinking about me. And it stemmed from like just never being able to really process these emotions and these feelings. You know, like each of these things, like the car situation, the water access point at work, and even the restaurant, like it took time for me to like actually sit down in each of them and just be like, all right, like what's going on? You know, what are my emotions? How am I feeling? Like, what is the solution? What are the different variables of this situation? And like, it takes time for me to analyze it. And it may come second nature to you, but to me, that certainly doesn't. Like, it's something that I need to train, but each situation that I go through that's similar to this, like a minor inconvenience, I get better at with like doing that sort of thing. Like, looking at the whole picture and just being like, all right, yeah, this doesn't warrant a freak out. You know, it warrants some work to fix, but it doesn't warrant like alarm bells and, you know, the freaking nuclear siren and everyone like crashing out over. It doesn't warrant that at all. And you know, that just contributes to like my peace that I have in the day to day. You know, just like the serenity that I have just when handling situations, my maturity, I feel. Because, you know, not everyone does that sort of way. And, you know, I'm not here to judge other people or look at other people. I'm really only here to look at myself. But, like, I've worked with people who just, like, freak out over nothing. You know, and we all see it. We're all just like, dude, you know, why are you tripping over this? Like, this was not you. And then by them freaking out, like, it just gets them in more trouble. You know, it just gets you in more trouble because you're like making a situation out of something that was never a situation. Like when the parking brake broke on my utility cart, I just walk up to my boss and I'm just like, yo, the parking brake broke, or the brake line broke. Like, I don't know what happened. It just snapped. Could have happened anywhere, anytime. Like, you know, it doesn't mean it's on me. When I say that, I'm like, I just say it as a, you know, it's just a matter of fact. Like, it just happened. I was on the cart, like whatever. Um, but I've seen people like when that happens try to deflect blame or something, and it's just like it just gets them into more trouble. And also, then I learned, like, if something happens, just own up to it and just say what happened and just keep it at that. And, like, don't make it a whole catastrophe, you know. But yeah, that's something I've been working through and learning. You know, it's a continual process, right? Like, it never ends. Um, I've never done today sober. I don't know if I've shared this yet. I don't think I have. So I heard someone say, I forget who, but they said this a few months ago. I heard it, and it's kind of stuck with me, you know. So they said, like, let's say this person had, I think they had 4 years sober or something like that, a few years sober, you know. And they were like, oh, uh, all the days that I have before this are just that. They're my experience. The only day that I have is today. And this was at a 6 a.m. meeting that I had gone to for months. Yeah, it was 6 a.m. A 6 a.m. meeting I had gone to for months, right? And this guy says, like, I think he woke up at maybe 4 a.m. or something, but he's like, I only have 2 hours sober because I've never done today sober. And that was like revolutionary to me. Like that way of thinking. Like it is the one day at a time mentality. But that was just revolutionary to me to hear. Because it was like, yeah, dude, I've never done today sober. I don't know what it's going to bring. Right? But it's like, whatever it brings, I'm going to handle. I'm going to take on. And I'm going to face. You know, I'm going to try to learn from it. Right? And at the end of each day, like, when I lay my head down and go to sleep, I'm always like, all right, you know, I learned something today, or I did the best I can today. I got to experience today. And I got to do it sober. Like, what a win, dude. What a win, bro. You know, just stand the course, man. So that's all I have to talk about that. You know, it's about time that we like stop turning these pebbles that are in our shoe to a boulder that just blocks our path. We're not going to move anywhere with that mindset. I'm not going to move anywhere with that mindset. And so, you know, going off of that pebble analogy, like take some time when that's going on. Just stop. You know, I just got to stop. Just like stop. You know, and just be like, all right, what's going on here? Like, just pause, bro. Like, never hurts to pause. Never hurts to slow down a little bit, you know? So, yeah, those are reminders to myself. Just pause, just slow down, just take things easy. You know, easy does it. So, that's all I have to share. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.